going to break down his understanding of the word atheist and the what the problem is and why I see it so much in debates, and hopefully a solution. So here we go.
Reasons why Christians don't know that. First up, Webster's Dictionary. Webster's Dictionary defines atheist as a person who believes that God does not exist, one who believes that there is no deity, a person who believes there is no God. No other definition is given, which is odd, because the word atheist is composed of the root word theist with the Greek prefix a. Theist is defined as a belief that God exists, while the Greek prefix a means not or without the assertion that the root word makes. For example, atypical means not typical. Asymmetrical means not symmetrical. Apolitical means not political. So why then, when Webster's gets to the word atheist, is the Greek prefix a being used to make an assertion?
Because we don't speak Greek. Flat out. That's why. We don't speak Greek. This isn't the Greek language, it's the English language. It basically says, go out, make videos, spread the word, tell people what the word atheist actually means, blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Change the culture, but right now, that's what most people understand the word atheism to mean, and that's why they use it that way.
Seems clear to atheists. So, why aren't the Christians getting it? Well,
what they're not getting is that atheism means a lack of belief in God, and he's going to explain why he thinks they're not getting it. Here you go.
It's really not their fault. When discussing the word atheist, theologians will direct your attention to the word agnostic. They will focus on the idea that agnostics do not have a definite belief about God. They will construct a three-point line for Christians to use as a mental model of theology. They will place the word theist at one end, then place the word atheist on the other, then squeeze the word agnostic between the two.
Alright. I've never seen anybody construct a line like this. This is the first time I've ever seen it done. I've watched a lot of these debates. We're going to get into why that matters here in a second.
Thus implying that these are the only possible views on God.
Alright, I'm going to skip forward again. I'm going to post a link to this video. Watch it all. Because he does a good breakdown of what he thinks of what atheism, especially popular atheists and a lot of the atheist community, whatever people all over YouTube, they're all saying this now. They're all saying that this is what atheism means. So understand it, learn it, use their definition for all I care. It's not important. Alright, here we go.
So conclusive.
So has a belief in God, that God exists. Doesn't know either way, and we'll get into why this is actually accurate in a minute. And then has a belief that God does not exist. Here we go.
That is, as long as they can keep the word Gnostic out of the discussion. Despite what they claim, the word agnostic does not go on that line. It is instead simply the word Gnostic with the Greek prefix a. It is part of its own separate dichotomy. While theist deals with belief, Gnostic deals with knowledge, meaning agnostic is simply not Gnostic, and atheist is simply not theist. Properly arranged, the words form a grid of 4 possible views on God, not 3. Theist claims belief. Atheist lacks belief. Gnostic claims knowledge. Agnostic lacks knowledge. Theologians are saying seems so logical, so straightforward, so conclusive. That is, as long as they can keep the word Gnostic out of the discussion, exist, and that atheists have a belief that God does not exist, and that agnostics are the unsure souls in between the two.
What he's got here on his video is doesn't know either way. Agnostic doesn't know either way. You can be an agnostic theist, which means I don't know, or you can be an agnostic atheist, which is I don't know. I don't know. Either way is agnostic. Okay? That is why they use that terminology. It's because it's all inclusive. Agnostics are people who don't know. They can be agnostic atheists or they can be agnostic theists. They are people who don't know. They are not making a positive claim. That's what that means. And quite frankly, it doesn't matter whether you're an agnostic theist or an agnostic atheist because you don't know. You're not making a positive claim. That's why they're using this phrase terminology. That word agnostic in the middle covers both theistic agnostics and atheist agnostics. So, when you're in a debate with a Christian and the Christian says, "Are you an atheist?" and you say, "Yes," and they're saying, "So you believe there is no God?" and you say, "No, I simply lack a belief in God." And they say, "Oh, so you're agnostic?" and you're like, "No, I'm an atheist." You're part of the problem. So are they. But you're part of the problem too. You're not being as clear as you think you are. All right? Because agnostic could be agnostic theist or agnostic atheist. And if you are saying you are not agnostic, which means you are not either one of these, then the only other kind of atheist that's left is that one. You are giving them no open roads. You are giving them no way to interpret what you're saying as anything other than Gnostic atheists. There's no other way to interpret that because you are refusing to accept agnostic as defining who you are. You are insisting on being called an atheist when, in fact, you're an agnostic atheist. According to this guy's own little doodle dad. All right? This is the problem. This is why it's confusing. All right? So, now the problem doesn't just lie with the atheists. All right? The Christians are using this little model here that he points out. I've never seen them put it into a graphic like this, but that's basically what they're doing because agnostic to them means both theist agnostic or atheist agnostic. It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant which one because both you don't know either way. The theists are making a positive claim that God exists. Therefore, they are Gnostic theists. An agnostic theist is just as meaningless as an agnostic atheist. Like you're not making a positive claim about anything, so there's nothing to argue about. There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing to debate. So there you go. When you say you're not agnostic, then you're getting rid of all of the types of agnostics, including agnostic atheists, and your only thing that's left is Gnostic atheism. So you're muddying the waters, and then the Christian turns around and does the same thing, and he's like, "Well, I'm not going to accept your terminology, so we're going to insist on calling you agnostic." And he's like, "I'm not an agnostic, I'm an atheist." And he's like, "Well, then fine, you're an atheist, and so I'm going to treat you like you're making positive claims about God's non-existence."